Welcome, angry faithful, to the Friday what the hell stuff that we found on the internet that was newsworthy or political in nature that we found funny. And you know what? We're looking it up and seeing what's real out there and what's not.
Politics? This isn't a video game episode?
Oh no, Bill. Yeah, and that's what's so funny about this one. California mayor was a CCP spy, and she used uh, the glamour shot way too much on a lot of her photos. We chose the photo that was not glamour shot for her, but this is what it actually is. Former Arcadia, California mayor Ellen Wang resigns and agrees to a plea deal to acting as a legal agent for the people of Republic of China. Federal prosecutors revealed she secretly worked with Chinese officials to spread pro-Beijing propaganda and failed to resign as a register as a foreign agent. A crime punishable to up to 10 years in prison. Now, the operation between 2020 and 2022, Wang and her former fiance operated a partial news website aimed at the Chinese American community called U.S. News Center. According to Department of Justice unsealed plea agreement, Wang routinely received pre-written contact directly from Chinese government officials via messaging app WeChat. The articles were used to promote pro-Chinese communities, CCP, Chinese Communist Party narratives, including pieces denying forced labor and human rights abuse in the Zhejiang region. Wang regularly reported back in her Chinese headers the page views metrics for the article. Basically, they were botted. Prosecutors also noted that Wang communicated with high-level Chinese intelligence operators who was previously convicted and sentenced to federal prisons in 2024 for acting as an illegal PRC agent. As a result, following an NBC News report, federal authorities announced the charges against the 58-year-old on May 11th, and she made an initial appearance in the LA federal court. Resignation within hours of the unsealed plea deal. Wang, still get it. I'm still laughing about the last name, Wang. I got a child like mine, okay? Wang formally resigned. Her Wang finally resigned as a mayor and of this from the city council of Arcadia, a suburb location northeast of the downtown Los Angeles. City manager Dominic Lorenzo issued a statement clarifying that an internal review confirmed no Arcadia city staff, finances, decision-making process were involved in the propaganda activities, as the actions had ceased after Wang was sworn into local office in 2022. Legal defense Wang's defense team noted in a statement that she accepted responsibility for the past personal mistakes and apologized for her conduct, according to coverage by the New York Times. Yeah, because you were caught. So I had somebody recently screaming at me that was being harsh to the Chinese government or Chinese people. And all this stuff came out. He's like, you're totally right about all that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Because I did the research. I knew what they're doing. And even as right now, Trump even said during his time in Beijing this week that we spy on China, China spies on us. It happens. You're not going to get away with it. But another note, talking what happened on Trump's little vacation to China, not a vacation, but doing business deals.
A little excursion.
Well,
he didn't bomb them, so I guess isn't that what excursion means to Trump?
Yeah. What's really bad about this whole thing, and people are getting really upset about, is the fact that the president of China goes up and is like, Trump's making America great again. Back that up. Hillary Clinton went on air and said she will take help. The Democratic Party should take help from Chinese government since Russia's helping Trump. So it's getting ridiculous out there.
Did you see when he got off the plane and they had the little kids singing, and not the ones that were doing YMCA, and another one where they were waving flags? I'll tell you, if you go back and watch that segment, I would swear I heard it over and over that they were singing the theme song to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
We'll get more into that.
It's so similar.
I love this. I'm gonna steal this one. Jesse J. Bronshaw. How do terrorists feed their babies? Here comes the airplane. Do you get that, Bill?
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. I'm stealing that one.
Oh, is that something we got coming in? Whoa, yeah. people are watching. Wow.
I know. Here's another note. What happened as
he does not have a trademark symbol on that.
I know.
So you can steal it.
Yeah. It's probably an old joke. But anyways, this is the U.S. delegation just threw everything Chinese gift into a trash bin at the foot of Air Force One before boarding in front of full camera. Now, there's a reason why they did do this. The last time the U.S. president's team performed a visible public discardation of host country's material on the tarmac during the major summit, it made front page news for a week because everyone understood what it meant. Every gift discarded into the ramp side bins before the wheels up. Every badge, every pin, every souvenir gone. Every Chinese issued phone for staff and press thrown away. Nothing Chinese origin was allowed onto the aircraft. Personal devices were placed in Faraday bags for the flight. The action was uniformly staff, press, pool, and entire delegations. The White House security and Secret Service enforced it onto the ramp. Trump on camera when asked about spying. We didn't discuss it because we also spy on them as they do with us. New York Post White House correspondent Ellen Goodkin confirmed the account from the pole position. The protocol applies to final control windows before re-entering U.S. airspace. This matches the identical disposal procedures used by U.S. delegations in China and Russia for years. The trigger document counterintelligence concerned with the Chinese issue electronics carry embedded malware trackers and listening devices. This is not improvised. It's pre-planned, executive at the ramp in front of cameras. This is the same playbook U.S. delegates have used in Beijing for a generation. The only thing that changed is that someone photographed it this time. Trump arrived with Elon Musk and Jensen Huang. He left with nothing Chinese on the plane, not a pen, not a phone, not a souvenir. However, whatever was said in those meetings the secure posture on the way out told you everything that you needed to know how Washington actually views Beijing when the cameras aren't on the handshake. I'll keep you we'll keep you updated on any kind of noted stuff, but that's what happened. But yeah, it's a security thing, really. And I'll tell you why. The the Russian embassy, the U.S. embassy in Russia. This is the most intelligent thing I've heard from the intelligence community. What they had done was they wired mics throughout the whole entire U.S. embassy through the electrical. No, it wasn't electrical. It was the foundation through the rebar. So they could hear everything. They were recording everything. They found it like 2 to 3 years later. But yeah, dude, every country spies on every one of them. The actually best one is probably France.
I think the whole U.S. delegation had to have burner phones. They didn't allow personal devices to access anything, plug in anywhere.
Yeah. But it's how you're not as even as U.S. citizen. If you go in a different country, you're not allowed to bring back anything from that country that you're gifted by somebody. And trust me, there is some questionable thinking going. Are you sure we can't take this? Because Kuwait, during their liberation from Iraq, they offered like I think $20,000 to each serviceman that helped out. $20,000 to a serviceman? That's a lot of money. And
well, the biggest bummer is you weren't able to bring the camel back.
Yeah. I knew I wasn't going to take that camel. There's no way I would bring. I've seen some really shady stuff being smuggled. A camel's probably not going to be one of them.
Well, that wasn't a smuggle issue, though. That wasn't a smuggle issue. That was a legitimate gift.
Yeah. Yeah. But I had to accept it and then discard it in a way. That camel was good eating, though.
Aww.
We had to figure out a way. They cooked it for us.
Now I'm really bummed. I didn't remember that part of the story.
Oh yeah. I ate that camel.
Hmm.
Why does the feet smell and the nose runs? Okay, why? John first 1, 2, 3. What does the feet smell and the nose run? I'm actually kind of curious.
That is an old dad joke, and I'm drawing a blank on it.
Really, Bill? You've been like the king of dad jokes, and you finally get stumped because you can't remember. Is it the dad thing?
I make shit up. Like, remember out at work, all of a sudden I'd pop out with something, and then I'd have such a straight face on it, like it was serious, and everyone would crack up. I can't believe I was able to do that. I would purposely keep a complete straight face saying something really stupid.
Wow.
I hear I was entertaining.
Another thing that's happened this week that I found interesting: no joyriding in Washington. Did you hear about that one?
No, I didn't hear about that. I did start to watch a video, but I only watched a few seconds of it. Janine Pirro was announcing something on the amount of security they're going to have in DC for the 250th.
Okay, don't ruin my joke. Anyways.
Oh, this is a joke.
No, it's not a joke. The People Republic of Washington. We said the People Republic of China. This is People Republic of Washington.
Are you referring to DC or the state?
No, state.
Okay, I was thinking DC. Okay. So clarify that.
Has now officially banned aimless driving, punishable by $1,000 fine. No more joyriding or clearing your head or cruising around. You must have a lawful destination to be on the road in Washington. So, yeah, it's an actual bill, Senate bill for Washington State, 626. Aimless driving is prohibited. So you have to be going somewhere. Just keep on saying that you're going to oh, man, finish the joke, John. If you're gonna do that to me, finish the joke. Now I'm gonna have to look it up. So about to ban you because of that. Why does a feet smell and a nose run? How? Why does feet smell and a nose run? How? Okay, there we go. I think I found it. Now. I think I found it. I didn't find it. It's still just the joke, but it doesn't do the punchline.
Hold on.
Hey, Poland. Love what you guys are doing in Poland. But yeah. So if you're ever going to go to visit Washington, because I thought about this. What if, I mean, you're still going for a destination. Like if you're going to going to the river, going to visit their parks. They have some beautiful country national parks. But if you're going there, you're technically taking a joyride to that location. If you think about it. Bill, are you paying attention?
Joyride.
Yes. I mean, if you go to if you're taking a vacation to Washington, you're technically taking a joyride. I mean, you're going to the places and everything.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we don't have time, so this trip isn't going to be a driving trip. But as far as aimless wandering, did you hear about the Waymos?
No.
The driverless taxis.
Oh, okay.
Over in Atlanta, they took, and while they were waiting for customers, they would go into cul-de-sacs and just start circling. So they were blocking cul-de-sacs. They were filling them. You know, these people who, I live on a cul-de-sac so I can get away from everything. Well, these things are doing that. So now they've said they've passed something where they're going to be able to ticket Waymos. Give them tickets.
No, I'm all for that because if you think about it, that makes sense. Because look at the I forgot what it was. It was either Tesla's, it was some kind of I think it might have been Waymos. But they went in and the parking lot for the vehicles are the people next door to them, to that little parking lot, are getting pissed off at those cars because those cars want specific parking spots for themselves and start honking until the car leaves. So it's basically they prefer certain things. Now
so we have someone from Poland. So I love Poland. Love Karol Nawrocki. I think that's how to spell it, how to say it.
Yeah, Bill, I said that 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Love
Poland.
You're
Hi, guys.
You are really late on that one. Anyways, next topic. Made for Canada, for the babies. This is a recent thing we found out.
I want to draw attention.
They wanted to draw attention to this now. This is going to be a little bit long video for most people. It's 2 minutes and 16 seconds. But if you're not aware, we did a topic on this a while ago. Made for in Canada is considered assisted unaliving. I had to say the weird stuff because of YouTube. But anyways, this is what they are upset about, and this is weird.
Attention to 3 concerns about the widening scope of euthanasia in Canada. These are not concerns from the fringes, but statements from a member of a provincial medical college, recommendations before Parliament, and the reality of MAID right now in Canada. And most Canadians are not yet aware of the extent of the horror. The first concern is about a statement regarding infants. A member of the Quebec College of Physicians has formally stated that MAID may be an appropriate treatment for babies from birth to 1 year of age, who come into the world with severe deformities and very serious syndromes, and that parents should have the opportunity to obtain this care for their infant. Canadian law currently permits the withdrawal of life-sustaining treatment for critically ill newborns. This medical practitioner's proposal goes further. He calls for the calculated killing of an infant. These are patients, babies, who cannot speak, cannot consent, and cannot ask for help. If we cannot draw the line here, I'm not sure where medical professionals imagine the line to be. The second concern is a proposal regarding mature minors. A report by the Special Joint Committee on Medical Assistance in Dying, AMAD, has recommended extending MAID to children with parental consent described as optional. A physician, not a child's parent, would determine whether a child is able to consent to his own death. In this discussion, MAID advocates showed their true colors and defended the rationale for euthanizing minors without consulting their parents. Yet 43 expert witnesses called this recommendation deeply flawed. I might call it something stronger. The third concern is euthanasia on demand. Ontario's chief coroner has documented MAID deaths driven not by illness, but by poverty, loneliness, and lack of housing. Approximately half of those who died by MAID in 2024 reported requesting it because they felt like a burden to their families, friends, or caregivers. These are not necessarily people dying of terminal illness. These are Canadians failed by a system that chose to offer them lethal injection rather than the support and hope they needed to live.
So yeah, this is from what they're saying. This is basically Nazi Germany. I know there's people that don't want to hear that. That I can't believe he was saying that it's Nazi Germany style stuff, but it is.
I don't think you're allowed to say that N word either.
We're not monetized. We probably won't.
Yeah, but just like you're unalived.
Yeah. But on no, the only thing you can't say anymore is the actually hard R. But eugenics is happening in Canada, which is sad.
Well, I did an article on that about 15 years ago up one of the northeast provinces. They were the first one to propose that, and the reason they proposed it is because their healthcare is too expensive and is a cost savings.
Yeah, I know. It's super ridiculous. I'll tell a story. And this is coming from Dan Cummings. He's the host of Time Suck. At one point in time, as a comedian, he was doing social. He was a social worker, and what had happened is there was this woman that couldn't keep her kids. She was not allowed to. She had 12 kids from different baby daddies and whatnot. What had happened is he goes up and he's like, why just not, tie her tubes? Because this is like the 12th one when he was there. I was like, why not just tie her tubes? because they said that's eugenics, and the Nazis did that. We can't do that. So, yeah, we don't follow Nazi stuff. So, and it's ridiculous that they're doing this. The other little tidbit on this one. You remember the old Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory?
Me?
Yes, Bill.
Oh, yes, I do. And unfortunately, or fortunately, our waterfall is no longer, when it reopens, going to be able to be called the Willy Wonka Falls.
I don't care about that, Bill. Anyway,
okay.
You remember the Oompa Loompas? Bill, this is me having a conversation with you. We're having a conversation. I want you to look me dead in the eye. Look in the camera, okay? Do you remember the Oompa Loompas?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on that, do you know where those Oompa Loompas came from? The little people that were acting in the thing.
They were real actors.
Yeah, they were real actors, but they mostly came from England, France, neighboring places from the place they were filming. They were filming in Germany. They couldn't find any little people in Germany. Do you know why?
No.
Eugenics. There were no there to this day, there is very few little people in Germany because of the Nazis.
Wow.
I Googled that because I thought that was kind of messed up, but that shit's real.
Must be hard to be a little person in Hollywood nowadays.
I don't know. Peter, what's his name? The guy that was in Game of Thrones. He's doing pretty good.
Well, I mean, it was like the latest what was it? Cinderella. They weren't going to allow little people because that was some kind of not socially, but the real little people were like, we're out of a job now.
Yeah. There's a lot of speculations on that one that nobody watched that movie because.
And in Willy Wonka, I think there was one in the new one. I think there was one guy who was the little person, and they duplicated him, AI or something.
Yeah, that's what they did. But anyways, next topic, Bill.
What the flock?
Yes.
Everyone is freaking out now. The latest AI thing going around is they're throwing it out as they are mega surveillance centers or mega surveillance centers, and they've thrown it out like the old Google bombing. Do you remember Google bombing?
Yeah.
For a first Google bomb ever was they went around and they plastered the same phrase all over the internet. And if you typed in a search for Rick Santorum, the Google result was piece of shit. That was the very, very first Google bomb. So the latest thing is they're trying to make everyone paranoid, the anti-data center group, with surveillance. So flock cameras are the big thing that's going around. Flock camera. Are you familiar with flock cameras, David?
Mm-mm.
Well, the actual description is specialized solar-powered automated license plate reader systems, widely used by police departments, HOAs, and businesses to prevent and solve crime. So all these people are going, oh my God, we need to stop a data center in our town because that will stop flock cameras. Really? Yeah, it's like for some reason we took out 40 people in Iraq because we tapped into China cameras that were Iran. We tapped into China's cameras that were set up in Iran and watched them for a couple of years. There was no data center next to them when we wiped the floor with them. I don't know what I can say. There's a lot of ways I could put that. But on the flock camera, they're thinking, oh, get rid of it so can't spy on us. Here's the thing about flock cameras. They do all of their processing, their license plate reading and everything in the camera. Then they have a small amount of data they upload to the cloud. Now, there are two main data centers, which you know approximately where they are, but you don't have exact details. And they're the Amazon Web Service clouds, but they're Amazon Web Service Gov clouds, specific cloud locations for government data. One of them is in Virginia, Ohio, and one of them's in drawing a blank, Oregon or Washington. Hold one sec. Oregon, eastern part of Oregon, the Amazon Web Service Gov Cloud. So your data goes from that. After it's transmitted, it's deleted, so you can't access it if you grab one of the cameras. And then it's transmitted, and then it's on one of those two data centers. So stopping your local neighborhood data center is not going to stop flock cameras. Your data is out there. Only 2 different data centers will have it, depending on what region you live in.
Okay.
So that's flock cameras. And one of the reasons why I looked into that is I noticed that going around the mega surveillance centers is something they're throwing around, and I tracked it back to May 7th is the date that first appeared. And what happens is the activists put it out on blast. Okay, everyone, flood this. Now, if you followed Kevin O'Leary, he's building this massive, largest in the world data center in Utah. And he was just really, I saw him on a couple of news segments over the last few days. He was stunned at how much opposition there was to data centers.
Yeah.
I'm like, he is building the largest one in the world, and he was stunned and didn't realize it. He said,
okay. Hold on, Bill. I want you to realize something. One, there's types of people that don't go in and study everything they're supposed to know about one subject. They just see something. Like if I had the money and I go, I'm just going to build, let's say something, a place that makes patches. Okay. Well, I'm just doing this because I heard people are starting to make patches, and they're gaining a voice, and they're making a lot of money, and it's really cheap. $3,000 for a stack of patches. I said, yeah, we'll just do happy birthday. Okay. So I'm selling these patches and everything. Apparently, someone put out wishing a person happy birthday with the patch is racist. Well, there goes my business. I had no idea. And they're doing this only because they don't like their own lives or something like that. It's something stupid. But I didn't know this when I was starting to go through this venture. They're not attacking me. They're just attacking. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, especially with businesses that are not kept in the loop. You're kept in the loop because you choose to be kept in the loop. And I want you to realize that. I said the same thing at one point in time, is I have a lot of subscriptions because I don't like advertisement. Now, what if there's this new product that I should know about, but I'm oblivious to it? Why am I oblivious to it? Because every one of my subscriptions, I have no ads. I don't know what's new out there. So, yeah.
Well, that's a little different than someone who's multi-billionaire spending multi-billions, and he's got PR firm. He's got PR firms. He's got people working for him, and he runs social media. He runs things on X and Instagram. And then He said, I
What-
realized it. I mean, he didn't see, he saw the protesters coming out and people doing petitions.
But
He should have, he's in the industry. He should have known that 235 people in December groups gathered to sign a petition wanting a nationwide data center moratorium. I mean, he's building a multi-billion-dollar, and he goes, I got all this opposition, and I looked, I investigated and tracked it back to May 8th. Remember, I said May 7th was the mega surveillance centers. On May 8th, he said Instagram, X, all social media was hammered against him. And he tracked IP addresses back.
Okay.
And the IP addresses did track back to the organizations that Neville Singham, the American living in Shanghai, that is basically a Chinese supporter. That's
Yeah.
where he tracked the funds back to them.
Well, at least he investigated it.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, he's got to. They're fighting like hell now. He's on every day. I pull up Facebook, and about every fifth post is on the Utah data center and how they're fighting it and the different methods they're using. Now, the other thing is, have you seen the Forever Chemicals comments?
No. Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, but here's something I noticed. I saw a Forever Chemicals comment, and I thought, well, I'll have AI analyze it. So I put it into Google AI, and it gave me a couple of sentences and dropped out. And I'm like, expand on that, please. Dropped out. And I said it several different ways, and it dropped out. What they've done, like the old Google bombing, is they've manipulated AI, and they will put things in quotes like that, and it triggered a safety mechanism that Google won't answer. So
Oh.
when they try to research it, they're told to spread it. But if one of those people try to research it themselves, they get no answers. It automatically cuts it off. I put that into Grok, and I said, "Hey, Grok, what's going on here?" And he explained it. He explained how the activists did it, specifically wrote it in a way that would trigger the safety mechanisms of the AI so people couldn't get the information.
Oh, neat. All right. One last thing before we go. There's always some kind of news thing that we prop up really quick. Now, this is do you know Tina Peters? It's a yes or no question, Bill. So
Rings a bell.
okay. She was a denier, election denier, and she was arrested. Now,
The only nonviolent offender that is on
the California or Colorado governor had ripped open her appeal and pardoned her, gave her clemency. We'll just go by this.
the only nonviolent offender that is on the commutation list. She was sentenced to almost 9 years in prison. And to be clear, she deserved to go to jail. She committed a crime. What's at issue here is how long the sentence is. And I agree with the appeals court that in the sentencing hearing, the judge incorrectly looked at and considered her bizarre viewpoints, her speech, and held her speech against her. She happens to be somebody that's espoused what I believe to be what anybody objectively would believe to be incorrect opinions, conspiracies, etc. That is not a crime in our country. What is a crime is, along with two other co-conspirators, one got 6 months, one got parole only, accessed after a municipal election, election computers to download software for an independent audit prior to the software being updated. That is a crime. There were 4 felonies. Those felonies will stick with her. She's a convicted felon. And I believe that the 4.5 years that I'm commuting her sentence to, she'll be on parole along with a number of the other 9 next month, is a fair, just, and tough sentence for her crime.
Yeah, so she's I totally agree with that, because she gave out the information, and we've talked about this last week. But yeah, I agree with the sentencing, but I don't agree with the free speech one, and I'm glad he did do his due diligence, because she gave out sensitive information. But Anyways, everybody, thank you for. I'm sorry about the short episode, but this is my long weekend. Next weekend we'll go a little bit longer. So,
And don't forget.
oh yes, Bill. That's right. You're gonna be on the Bill Stanton on Big Jim Ross's segment.
Russell, Big Jim Russell. Oh my gosh. I'll be on the radio tomorrow, Bill Staten on with Big Jim Russell's Insight segment tomorrow, Saturday at 6 a.m. We are going to be talking about data centers, facts versus the rumors, and that's on 99.9 KLUR, 103.9 The Hot, and 104.7 The Bear. And you can catch it streaming live on KLUR.
Yeah. Anyways, everybody, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Ickerman.
And I'm Wild William.
And goodbye.